changing an air filter is very simple.
New cars today, you look at lines of code.
It's time for Drive With Me TV.
This is Drive With Me TV.
With your host, Dave Jickster.
So get behind the wheel with me, Dave Jickster, for Drive With Me TV.
Hi, it's Dave Jickster from 97 Rock. Welcome to Drive With Me TV, Western New York's only automotive television show. On this edition, meet hospitality icon Russell J. Salvatore. He takes us for a ride in his baby blue Bentley.
Periodically, I take and go for a ride, put the top down.
Is your car ready for winter? We'll go under the hood with Pete from PRD Performance.
With the cooler weather approaching, it's time to start thinking about ways to prep your vehicle for winter.
Get behind the wheel with me when I take a test drive in a hot new Audi.
You mentioned fuel economy. What's this get?
The latest automotive news and more surprises. But now, let's get rolling with my pal, John Sciullo.
Hi, Russell. We're going to take a drive in your Bentley today.
Thank you, John. It's a pleasure to see you
Good
this
to
evening.
see you. And boy, what an amazing ride you have.
Yes.
Baby blue.
Baby blue, I love it. It's called Blue Coral Marine.
And it's an amazing vehicle with a. Now, is that a convertible, Russell?
Yes, it is, John.
Wow. All right, so Russell's going to drive, and I'm going to be in the co-pilot seat.
God's sakes.
So this is an amazing vehicle. I'm almost nervous riding in it. Do you get nervous driving it? Because it's certainly a vehicle of value.
No, I don't really, John. I'm so used to it. I mean, for the amount of driving that I do lately, I live upstairs at a restaurant, and I think at the end of the year I got more mileage on the elevator than I do in my car, for God's sakes, you know. But I mean, periodically I take and go for a ride, put the top down. And I really like the convertible because this way I've got a tan all summer long, you know.
Of course, of course. And why the Bentley, Russell? I mean, there are certainly a lot of vehicles that are high-end, but this one is extra special for you.
Well, you know, it's not, I mean, it's a little bit more expensive than the Cadillac of that. And I just happen to be, a friend of mine lives in Orlando that has a Bentley dealership. He says, I'm giving you a Bentley. You're going to get a Bentley, you deserve a Bentley. The Bentley is nicer and it's not as show-offy as a Rolls Royce, you know. So the Bentley's been accepted. To me, it looks like a Chrysler 300. I mean, you know, it's not that show-offy. And I like it. It's a heavy ride. The car weighs 7,500 pounds.
Well, for somebody who's so generous in the community, Russell, you deserve the ride that you would want to enjoy. And what does the vehicle have? I mean, obviously it's got all of the great things that a high-end vehicle would have, like, you know, obviously your temperature control and the ride. What is special about it that you can tell us?
I'll tell you, it's not any different than a Cadillac or another car, Lincoln and those. Again, like I say, I like it. It gives you respect. It's amazing when I go someplace and I pull up at a place right away. Oh, naturally, 99% of the people know who I am. Mr. Salvatore will take the car, we'll leave it up front and everything. I mean, at the end of the year, it's more expensive owning a Bentley, because you go from a $5 tipper to a $20 tipper. I don't know if it's a good idea having one or not, you know. I mean, you don't get away unless you even got a $10 bill or $20 bill. I mean, I go to ECMC a lot to check on the hospital and do a lot of remodeling. As I pull up right away, I say, don't leave a car right out here, right at the curb.
Sure.
You know, it gives you the prestige and makes you feel pretty good. For as hard as you work, you know it's.
Well, you're right, as hard as you work and as I said, as generous as you are. Now, are you a car guy? Like, would you ever get under the hood here at the Bentley and, you know, check out the engine? Are you that kind of a guy, or you just want to get in the car and go?
John, believe me or not, when I tell you, I don't even change the oil.
Yeah.
You know, I don't do nothing. I'm not that, I don't keep a nice looking vehicle the way everybody does. You know, it's a car and I don't put it in the garage. I drive it in the wintertime. Everybody goes, you're driving your car in the wintertime. And I keep a car like 2 or 3 years. When it gets a little bit rusty, I turn it in and get another one.
Sure,
You know?
just like a lot of people do. And when you're driving, I would think a lot of people maybe recognize the car because it is so unique. And what made you pick the baby blue color?
I love it. I love blue. You know, I mean, I've always had a white car, but then, like I said, the dealership that in Orlando, my friend Joe, says a color come out that fits you perfect, and it's absolutely. The one that I had in 216, you know, first one was baby blue, and then they matched that same color. I stay with the baby blue. That's Russ Salvatore's color, baby blue.
What color are your eyes, Russell? Does it match the car?
No, not this time. Maybe the next one.
Yeah. Well, talk to us about the interior, Russell. The color is like a cream color. It's beautiful.
The colors are cream, you know, and then you got the baby blue dashboard in that, and cream and blue and black, you know.
And the seats are leather.
Yes.
And everything's electronic, and the seats are heated, so you really have the ultimate comfort here in this vehicle. You can have a nice day trip in this with a nice passenger and have a nice ride.
Yes, it is. You know, I don't go too far with it. You know, I go up to the falls and up to the casino and stuff like that. And I don't put many miles on it. You know, if I got to go someplace far, I'll take an airplane.
It looks like you got about 6,400 miles on it right now.
Right away, and I think it's a year old.
Yeah. You are such a celebrity, Russell, with the fun commercials that you do and the philanthropy in the community, and people love you. And do you remember your first car?
My first car, I paid $125 for that, and it was a 1933 Chevrolet little coupe with a rumble seat in the back, John.
Oh, was there any rumbling going on in the rumble seat, Russell?
I'm going to go beep, 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 beep. Okay, no more. We're going to beep those all out, okay? But I mean, I had that, and it was the rumble seat, $125. It had the mechanical brakes.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember the mechanical brakes? You're lucky if it stopped. I think my bicycle went faster than the car did.
Wow, it's great that you remember that.
Yeah, back in, oh God, it has to be in the 40s.
And, you know, from there, obviously, you know, you were a hardworking guy. I would think you had practical vehicles all throughout your life.
Well, you know what? I was a Cadillac man, but I mean, I was a crazy person. I liked cars, but I like them, and I always like a new one. At that time, you could trade it every year, and it would cost you only about $6,000-7,000 to upgrade. I traded my car in every year. I enjoyed that. I could be driving down the dealership. I remember I was driving by a Buick Riviera, and I happened to see it in the window. I said, oh my gosh, that car is beautiful. I went in, there was a convertible. And I went in there, what was the deal? Drove right off the floor with it. But I love having a new car, the smell of a new car. It's so great, you know.
And this car is practically new, and it does feel brand new, even though you've had it for just a little while.
Yeah, it is, but you can't trade in like every year like you used to.
Right.
Now they want like $20,000 to trade in every year.
Now you have a golf cart that resembles this Bentley.
To a T.
Where did that come from?
Well, when I turned 80 years old, my friends all had a golf cart made identical to the baby, to the Bentley, and they called that Baby Bentley.
Okay.
That's my baby Bentley. I tell you, I was just in a parade with it for John Dandy and his wife down at the Delaware Park, and I took that down there with the bicycles and that. I was leading the bicycles. It turned everybody's head, John.
Well, I know you drive the baby Bentley around Patriots and Heroes Park as well.
Yeah. Everybody that comes out of the restaurant must take a picture in front of this Bentley.
Well, not everybody gets a chance. Look, I'm honored to be driving with you, Russell, but I'm nervous in this car because I'm thinking, oh my gosh, you don't want to have a scrape or a dent or a ding. But it's a beautiful ride. And
well, I mean, you know, when you asked me to drive, I'm not a good driver or anything, But I'm glad you signed that form that WBBZ will buy me a great new car if I smash this one up.
Thanks. Yeah, we'll get right on that.
John, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
If I give you the car, could I have the station?
Oh, but interesting trade, Russell. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. Yeah, we'll get that done immediately. Russell, you've been so great to WBBZ. We really appreciate it. And I know you're listening to WEC, our friends over at WCK. You like to listen to Sinatra and all the classics.
Well, it's so funny.
Buddy
Sciullo, yes. And I advertise a little bit with it. He goes, good. It's nice to see a decent station. And I've always wanted to do that.
Oh, well, you know what, Russell? It's a good station and it's good music. So what do you like to crank on the car? What do you like to, do you sing when you're driving?
Me, no, I don't sing. I don't know the words. But if I'm with my friend Don Perino, he doesn't know how to shut up. He constantly sings. Oh man. And Charlie thinks he's Mario Lanza, for God's sakes, But
These are all of your good friends.
All my good
friends. And you
friends.
drive them around and they drive you around too.
Well, I don't drive myself too much. I'd rather have the guy drive, I like sitting in the passenger seat.
Well, this was a great ride, Russell. Really appreciate driving here on Drive With Me TV in your baby blue Bentley. Do you have a name for the car? Do you call it anything?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice, beautiful. And you are nice, and you are beyond nice. You are a giant. And thanks, Russell, for the ride.
All right, John, I feel honored to be part of your show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Welcome back to Drive With Me TV. I'm Dave Jickster, and now it's time for the dashboard. We are driving into the future with talk about what's to come and some interesting facts about cars I bet you never knew. Here is some breaking news of local interest. From Scripps Media comes word that the General Motors plant in Tonawanda will be making the engines that power the 2020 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray. GM's president was at the plant recently to make the announcement. One interesting note, these Chevys will have the engines in the back instead of the front. This change will provide the cars more power, going from 0 to 60 in less than 3 seconds. The plant's director said the engines will be built on the same line as the other products in the Chevy Tonawanda plant, with one addition. The engines will have a sticker noting they came from the #1 team in Tonawanda. From Motor1.com, the 2020 Apple car. Though Apple did lay off a few dozen employees working on the proposed Project Titan, the company isn't officially throwing in the towel just yet. In an open letter to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Apple is pushing for the same opportunity as established brands to test autonomous technology on public roads. Interesting. Meanwhile, how about a 2020 Ford Bronco? The Bronco is back. While rumors have been swirling for decades as to the arrival of the new Bronco, Ford released even more details about the upcoming SUV. The new Bronco and a new Ranger will be built together at Ford's Wayne, Michigan plant and expected to go on sale sometime in 2019 for the 2020 model year. And hey, why not get yourself a 2019 Porsche 911 Hybrid? Porsche's next version of its iconic 911 sports car could come with some added oomph courtesy of a lithium-ion battery. Spy photos have given us an early look at the proposed battery-powered coupe, but it's still unclear when the German marque will show off its all-new sports car. It could even come with upwards of 700 horsepower. The future is looking quite bright for driving around. Speaking of driving around, let's take a quick look around some of the random facts about cars you may never have heard. From WTOP, here's some things you can win bets on with your mechanics. Did you know Americans spend an average of 17,600 minutes of driving around each year? Bob Marley drove around a BMW not because he liked the brand, but because the initials were the same as the name of his band, Bob Marley and the Wailers. That new car smell? Well, you might want to hold off with your deep breaths. While it's composed of over 50 organic components, most of them are toxic. Very good to know. And finally, this one I didn't know, the inventor of cruise control was actually blind. Ralph Teeter was inspired by his lawyer, who would slow down while talking and speed up while listening. The rocking motion so annoyed Teeter that after 10 years of tinkering, he got a patent for cruise control in 1945. Amazing things you never knew about cars. Now it's time for our dashboard trivia question. Can you tell us the state with the highest posted speed limit? The answer when we return to Drive With Me. Welcome back to Drive With Me TV. Our trivia question this week, do you know the state with the highest posted speed limit? Well, if you guessed Texas, you'd be right. If you have a chance to drive through the Lone Star State, you can expect to cruise along at mind-boggling posted speed limit of 85 miles per hour. Yeah!
I'm Pete with PRD Performance, and this is Under the Hood. With the cooler weather approaching, it's time to start thinking about ways to prep your vehicle for winter. Today we hope to give you some useful tips to make the winter driving season less stressful. My first tip is to get a dedicated set of winter tires. The tread pattern and the compound make them safer and better performing in the winter compared to all-season tires. My number 2 tip for winter prep is instead of replacing your wiper blades, is simply just to clean them off with a Brillo pad. The reason being is dirt and grime accumulate on the wiper blade over the summer and fall. My third tip is to make sure you have your windshield wiper fluid topped off. My fourth tip for the winter prep is to have your battery checked out by your mechanic. The reason being is the colder temperatures are harder on your battery in terms of turning your engine over. My fifth winter tip is to change out your oil with a lower viscosity oil on your next oil change. The reason being is a lower viscosity oil is easier on your engine in the colder temperatures. My sixth and final tip for winter prep is to have these items in your trunk at all times. Item number 1 for having in your trunk would be a blanket or a sleeping bag, simply because if you get stuck on the side of the road, it'll keep you warm. Second item to have in your trunk is a good set of jumper cables. If you find yourself with a dead battery, you'll be able to jump your vehicle without having to wait for help. Third item to have in your trunk would be to have a protein bar or some type of food bar that doesn't perish in case you get stuck on the side of the road and find yourself hungry. The fourth item that I recommend having in your trunk would be a bag of cat litter, simply because if you get stuck with no traction, you can put this under your tires, give you enough traction to get out and get on your way. Another item to have in your trunk would be to have a flashlight or something to use on the side of the road should you need to change a wheel or tire. Another item to have in your trunk would be simply to have a small shovel if you can fit it in your trunk. This way, if you get stuck in a rut, you'll be able to dig yourself out. Another item to have in your trunk, which is very common in the north, is to have a snow brush to get all the ice and snow off your windows. The final item I recommend having in your vehicle would be to have a cell phone charger. This is because you don't want to find yourself in a situation where you need help and have a dead cell phone. So in conclusion, if you follow these simple tips, your winter driving experience will be a lot less stressful.
When we come back, buckle up for a supersized test drive. Hey Adam, what do we have here?
This is the 2019 Audi Q5.
Sharp, same color gray, matches my jacket.
That's right, looks good on you.
So tell us about this.
This was redesigned for 2018, hands down our best-selling vehicle. Very popular in the mid-size SUV category.
Obviously good for Buffalo winters.
Absolutely. The all-wheel drive system, which we touched on previously in the RS5, works the same exact way in this one. Just gives you a very planted, confident feeling. One of those things I can sit here and explain, but once you feel it in the snow, you understand.
Will it go from like 0 to 75 like the last car I just drove?
Not quite. We do make a performance-based version of it in SQ5, but this would be what we move the most of. It does have a turbocharged 4-cylinder with a 7-speed dual clutch, so it does move quite quickly. It drives more like a 6-cylinder than it does a 4.
Well, it's sharp looking. Let's take it for a ride.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So here we are in my second ever Audi that I've ever driven. And it has a lot of the same features as we had in that performance car, Adam.
Right. A lot of different things. It's just different materials, seats that are changing, but a lot of the same technology that we have in front of us. The same head-up displays on the windshield. We still have our driver's assistance packages with the active lane keeping and traffic jam assists.
And you've been in the Buffalo market for a while now. You already mentioned that these are one of your best-selling vehicles. So SUVs are where it's at in the Buffalo market.
Right. I would say just in the U.S. alone, it's a huge SUV market. We do sell a lot of sedans, but from what we have found, the majority of people are looking for a mid-size SUV.
And there's an Audi SUV right ahead of us.
Yep. We have a previous generation Q5. Yeah, the way they've tuned the engine, we're getting the benefits of the fuel economy, the all-wheel drive system. It is a very quick vehicle, partly because of the transmission as well, the gearing ratios.
You mentioned fuel economy. What's this get?
Off the top of my head, this one is combined for 24 miles per gallon.
Not too shabby for an SUV.
Not too bad with a permanent all-wheel drive system. Again, it is a heavy vehicle. They are focused on safety, so they don't hold back on the frames or doors. You know, we can tell this just by hearing the passing traffic. You rarely hear them.
Yeah, this ride's a very smooth ride. Again, in Audi, another nice, safe feeling driving this vehicle. I don't know if you feel safe as I do because I'm in charge here, but that's a stop sign.
No, I feel pretty safe. We're doing well. Back to the drive there, I find from what customers tell me at least, and I feel the same way when I drive, it doesn't handle like an SUV. It's built off of the same platform as one of our sedans, so it actually handles more like a car.
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
not a lot of body roll to it. It's got a good sporty feel for the size of the vehicle.
And what does one of these vehicles start at?
Starting, you're going to be in the mid-40s. You know, if you're going a base vehicle. I don't even like to use the term base because these vehicles do come pretty well equipped just from the factory. But you can climb to the mid-50s.
Very nice. So basically affordable. You look good. You're styling in one of these vehicles.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a ton of different packages from S-line trims, which gives us some sportier wheels, side skirts and bumpers, to a black optic package, it's called, where all of the chrome is deleted with black roof rails, black grille, black wheels. Definitely gives it that aggressive look.
Well, it was a pleasure driving around with you, and thanks for the car lessons today, Adam.
Yeah, absolutely. We hope to have you back soon.
A lot of fun to drive.
We'll get you in an R8 next time.
There we go. If you trust me in one, I'll drive it. Cool, brother. Thank you very much, man.
Absolutely. Thank you.
That's it for this edition of Drive With Me TV, Western New York's only automotive television show. Tell us what you think. Join the conversation at WBBZ-TV on Facebook and at WBBZ on Twitter. Thanks for watching on air and online.